We've been here 41 years. We were originally put into commission by the Lowell Historic Preservation Commission. And it was right around the same time that the National Park had just been created in Lowell. And they were looking to have extra attractions near the visitor center. So this was one of the ideas that got put into place. My name is Jim Diamond. I'm the executive director of the Brush Art Gallery and Studios. We're a nonprofit, and we rent out studio spaces to artists and try to keep them affordable. We're trying to support the working artists, and we rent wall space as well.
Having a studio here allows you to have other artists to bounce ideas off of, learn new things from. Well, I had first heard about the Brush Art Gallery when it opened back in the 80s, and I was in college. And my dad brought me here when I came home one time to check it out, and he was like, "You should have a studio here." And I was like, no way, I just didn't. And then much later, after I got married and I moved back to Lowell, an opportunity came up from a friend. She said, there's a space opening up. Would you like to check it out? And my husband, Jay, and I did that together, and we were juried in by the other artists. And we shared a studio together for many years. Now he is not here as a studio artist, but he does rent hallway space. We have over 20 associate artists that rent hallway space. And he has his studio at Western Avenue. Having a studio here allows you to have other artists to bounce ideas off of, learn new things from, and also, in this particular case, reach out to the public and teach people in the public your processes and have them open up their minds. It's great. I have a little comment sheet that I keep, and I love reading back through it and having people honestly make comments, because they're not nervous about writing something. So that's a special element here. But just having a space that takes you away from your regular life allows you to focus in a different way.
My name is Lolita Demers, and I was born in Maine, and I'm of Penobscot Indian descent. And I lived in Maine several years. Then I moved to New Hampshire for many, many years and went to college there. And 43 years ago, I ended up in Massachusetts. I have done pottery for 49 years. I like how it can be, you can do a lot of creative things with it. It's very pliable, and you can make functional ware, you can make sculptures out of it. It does have its limitations, however. It doesn't like skinny extensions, so you have to keep that in mind as far as the construction of things. You have to prop things up sometimes. If you like the giraffe that I have there with the long legs, I had to prop him up in order for it to be able to be stable enough until it dried some. And then you have to be careful during the firings and stuff. The other thing with clay is that it can crack during drying or firing. The glazes come out different than what you sometimes think they're going to come out. You have to go with the flow. Sometimes things, when they crack and stuff, sometimes I just dump them, and sometimes I say, well, what could I do with it? How could I go another direction with it? I like the fact that I'm connected to other artists here. We can get each other's feedback, that kind of thing. I like the idea that I can do retail here, to get it out to the public.
Hi, I'm Donna Berger. I'm one of the 10 artists that are here at the Brush Art Gallery. And the thing that's interesting is, well, I do mostly portraits, and I do people and pet, and I've been a children's book illustrator, so I really enjoy drawing and doing people. But being an artist at the Brush, we try to make that we're a diverse mix of artists doing different things, jewelry and a lot of painting, but the paintings are different types of paintings. And so we each got juried in for our specific skills, and we try to make it so that when a customer comes here, they get to see a diverse jewelry and pottery and different paintings and sketching and weaving and all kinds of interesting things. I was interested in doing something kind of unique because of COVID. And when my mother-in-law lives in Florida, and we'd go there, and in particularly in Florida, we were going to different restaurants. And I noticed how the wait staff were being treated. So I thought, you know, I think I want to make a series of, because we go to different restaurants when we're down there. And I said, let me see if I could I asked the people if I could take pictures and explain about the project that I was doing. And so I started working on these different paintings, and I wanted to get the backgrounds in the paintings too, to kind of give a feeling of where they are. And the thing that's interesting is, even though the people, those wait staff were wearing masks, you could tell they were smiling because their eyes and their expressions made them look like they were happy. And so I thought that was really an interesting thing, and wanted to have each painting show a little diverse of the type of work, type of place they were working. I have always been an artist from when I was a little girl, and I went to the Cleveland Museum of Art when I was a little girl, like 6 years old or something. My mom started taking me there. They had classes, and I got exposed to all the paintings, Picasso's and the whole variety. And so I started as a young age. My father was an artist also. And so I just, over the years, I got a scholarship to go to the Institute of Art for drawing, and I've always been drawing people, and I just love doing it, and that's what I went to college for. And I really like doing people because you can kind of, every time I do one, it's like a story that you're doing about someone.
My name is Amber Hurley, and I am a studio artist here at The Brush. A while back, in I think August, I was a little ill, and I was walking back from my doctor's visit, and I just thought maybe I should walk into here with my father. I came into here, and a fellow artist, Donna, showed me that this space was available for young people of color at a discounted rate for a year. And I was immediately just like captivated because I always wanted my own store, but it was all too expensive at Mill 5. So I was like, this is like a sign. So I made a bunch of stuff, I applied, and I actually got rejected. But I decided to reapply again with my crochet, and they loved it. It's actually a yarn central media art. And it's not just crochet, it's also stuff like knitting, and I also work with like looming, and I have this media where I also mix hot glue and canvases with yarn, so I can make different types of shapes, because yarn can be literally anything. With crochet, you can make something as simple as a cardigan or as crazy as a giant life-size squid. You could make just a tiny little cup holder, or you could make a hammock, something grand to hold your yarn. And I've always loved creating. It's always been a passion of mine, and I learned how to knit when I was 10 years old with some twine that I found in my dad's fishing container and some chopsticks. And I self-taught myself, and then 3 years ago, I learned how to crochet, and it's just been more versatile because you can do a lot more with crochet. Here in Lowell, we have classic and unique things, old stuff like the mill that's been repurposed to be new, and in with it is mixed with this new art that's hip and colorful and vibrant, mostly from artists that are people of color, which express our cultural beauty, and I think that's amazing. Well, they can find me here at the Brush Art Studio, but they can also find my stuff at Mill 5 in Lowell Book Company. They could also find me in Pop Culture, and they can also find me in Lala's Bookstore. They could also find me online. I'm on Instagram at The Sunset Aura, and I post things like there with some of my art as well.
So my name is Claire Gagnon. That's how we say it in French. I'm originally from Canada, and I came to the US in 2000. I was working in IT then, and I came here for a 2-month contract. And it's 2024, and I'm still here. Since then, I lost my job in IT in 2017 and opened my art school, Chez Claire Art School, in 2018. So when I originally opened my art school, I opened it in my home studio because I only had 1 or 2 students per class. And then eventually I outgrew the space in my studio at home. So I looked for a place, and the brush was the one that was most attractive to me. So that's how I got the studio. But I had been involved with the brush. I had been on the board before, and I had also been an associate artist for a while here at the brush. So I really liked it. So that's why I decided to come here. My work is mostly realist, impressionistic. You can see it behind me here. I like to do all sorts of different things. I like to do landscapes. I like to do portraits. I like to do still life. And I teach. So I teach in acrylic paint. I also teach in watercolor paint. And I teach drawing, some mixed media. I like doing all of that. The city as a subject offers like an endless number of subject matters. Because, you know, the architecture of the buildings is so intricate and beautiful that even just one building will offer like a diversity of subjects. And you can also, you know, do the canals. So the water is always nice to try to capture. So, and the arches of the bridges, those are also nice. So Lowell really offers interesting characteristics for the drawers and painters that want to paint the city, even for a beginner.
The arts community in Lowell is really great.
I think that it has grown a lot. The Brush Art Gallery is actually the oldest gallery in Lowell.
There's something for everyone. There's some kind of a studio that suits everyone. And there's so much to explore as an artist.
People are always curious. They stop by, they say, hey, how are you doing? And they want to know what is it that I'm doing? And then when I tell them about the brush, they say, oh, I didn't even know about the brush. So then I tell them where it is, and then they stop by later on.
And it's some stuff that some people here, or some people who don't live in Lowell, don't really get to see that often. And it's a good thing that people can look at this beauty and actually see it for what it truly is.
So we're open 11 to 4, Tuesday through Saturday, and 12 to 4 on Sunday. During the cold months like January through March, we close on Tuesday. Well, our website is thebrush.org, and we also have a Facebook page, an Instagram page, and TikTok. We have a fundraiser coming up at, most likely it's going to be at the Old Court in the fall. We're still working on that. We have a reception coming up for the studio artists. That'll be in September. When the city has the City of Lights parade right after Thanksgiving, we usually have a festival of wreaths. And this year we're going to have like a competition for decorating wreaths, and also gift ideas, some gift baskets, and some small trees on display.
Please do come down to the Brush, 256 Market Street. So you have to go through the courtyard to get to the Brush, but we'll be happy to welcome you. It has a wealth of great art here of all sorts. And of course, you can stop by Chez Claire and say hi.